Om Namo Sarvati Om Namo Sarvati Om Namo Sarvati Ujjanam Om Namo Sarvati Shamanam Om Karam Bindu Sanyuktam Sundarim Om Karadam Mokshadam Deva Om Karaya Namo Namo Nama Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chikasate Titvavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Ajnanatimirandhanam Jnana Anjan Salakaya Chaturmikam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane अहो उपकार जिन वरनो कुंदनो ध्वनि दिव्यनो जीन कुंद ध्वनि अप्या अहो ते गुरु काननो अहो ते भगवती मातनो ध्रुव अचलने अनुपम गति पामेल सर्वे सीधने वंदी कहूँ सुत केवल भाषित आसमय प्राव्रत अरे एक सुत सदा अरूपी ज्ञान दर्शनमय कर कहीं अन्य ते मारू यथि परमाणु मात्र नथि हरे जम नेत्र ते मज ज्ञान नथि कारक नथि वेदक अरे जाने जकर मोदय निरजरा बंद ते मज मोक्ष ने ओम नमः शिवाय Om Namah Siddhivyo, Om Sri Suddhatmane Namah. Jai Gurindra. Today is July 26, 2017, Wednesday, and we are going to continue our discussion on Samaysar, stanza 12. It's almost become like a month and a half that last time we met. So I was with Bal Brahmachari, Sri Hemant Gandhi, and I had an amazing amount of clarity occurred with some of the things. I mean, he is really an absolute great personality. And right now he's in Washington, D.C. He'll be coming to New York on this Friday. Yeah. So if chance permits, please meet him. You know, he doesn't speak in English. He uses some English words and everything, but he's fluent in Gujarati and Hindi. But some of the things, if you talk to him, probably you will realize, you'll see the depth of his knowledge. And I had a really amazingly great time with him. Anyway, so we are on 12 stanzas. So let me bring these slides and we will start from wherever we left, where we were last time. Share screen. Okay, so we are on the 12th stanza. It will not be. It will be okay to repeat the stanzas singing wise, and so that way it will give us a feeling, that where we are. Suddho Suddha Deso Nadavo Parama Bhava Darisi Him Vavahara Desida Punaji Du Aparame Dittha Bhave Dikhe Paramaje Bhavatene Suddhanaya Gnata Vyache Aparam Bhave Sthitane Vyavaharano Upadesache. In this whole stanza, this word Vavahara Desida is very important. And we'll be talking more about that one. And actually, there is lots of confusion among the initial readers of the stanza also has occurred. And so we just have to see what exactly this stanza means what it implies, and how this stanza is important for everybody to remember. Now, let's see. So we'll be starting from this meaning of the stanza, means gatharth. So, what I'll just read Gujarati. We will be coming on that gatharth a lot detail later on. જે શુદ્ધને સુધી પહોંચી શ્રદ્ધાવાન થયા તથા પૂર્ણ જ્ઞાન ચારિત્રવાન થઈ ગયા તેમને તો શુદ્ધનો ઉપદેશ કરનાર શુદ્ધની જાણવા યોગ્ય છે. વળી જે જીવો અપરમ ભાવે અર્થાત શ્રદ્ધા જ્ઞાન ચારિત્રના પૂર્ણ ભાવને નથી પહોંચી શક્યા, સાધક અવસ્થામાં જ સ્થિત છે, તેઓ વ્યવહાર દ્વારા ઉપદેશ કરવા યોગ્ય છે. This is the literal meaning of the stanza. Now, it will be very important, and this sentence I learned from Hemant Bhaiji, and it's a very appropriate sentence to go through it. Tattvanu ghuntan એ રુચિનું પોષણ કરે છે. That's a sentence he kept on saying several times. તત્વનું ઘૂંટણ રુચિનું પોષણ કરે છે means repeatedly listening and remembering of the nature of the thing nourishes spiritual attachment feeling. Means Gurudev Kanji Swami, and we have his audio lecture series, and of course he gave the discourses for 45 years. Only last 15 to 18 years of his lectures are captured on the audio cassette recorder and everything, because at that time nothing was available prior. So what happens, whenever he feels that this stanza is very, very important, or some points are extremely important, he keeps on hammering that point again and again and again. Each time it comes out from a different angle. Each time it appears to a beginner that why is he repeating same thing again and again? But he will insert few of the words in those repetition, will give the meaning from different perspective. So this is the way we have gone through 6th and 7th stanza. We have gone through the same thing in 11th stanza. Sometimes lots of repetition came, only because that way we have a pretty deep imprint of that importance, that why we should just keep that particular word listening again and again. So repeatedly listening and remembering, and that's what it, I mean, if we understand the nature of the thing, what do I have to do? I mean, to understand the nature of a thing is not a big deal. There are only 5 principles Gurudev Kanji Swami said that it's important to really understand pretty good. Nishchay, Vyavahar, absolute point of view, conventional point of view. Then Nimit and Upadan, principal cause, auxiliary cause. And last one is a Krambat Paryay, means modes occurring in its own sequential order. These 5 principles, if we understand really absolutely good, you already knew all the philosophy. Remember, we went through a exhaustively detail about absolute point of view and conventional point of view. In that way, we have pretty good idea. Time to time, the principal cause, auxiliary cause discussions are coming. And again, as we progress, those discussions will be coming. And ultimately, modes occurring in its own sequential order, that also, we have touched that one time to time, but those things are coming later on. So if we understand those 5 principles, then what do I do? Well, I understood the philosophy. Knowing philosophy means nothing, but knowing and thereafter imbibing on it, repeatedly meditating on it, just reflecting upon it, and that way it becomes a founding stone for us that, okay, this is my real nature. I have no relationship with the alien objects of the universe. Day-to-day life that I live, yes, you are a doctor, so you are going to see the patient. You are going to help the patient out. If you are in the computer industry, you are going to do innovation and the population at large will get benefited from there. So lots of things we do appears to be helping other people. Yes, those are the actions we are doing it. While we do all those actions, we still have to remember on the back of the mind that I am simply an instrumental cause for the things happening around. Things happening around, and I'm simply an instrumental cause for that. And if I take that attitude, this attitude is important. That attitude. If that attitude is accepted, then we will continue same work. If you are a doctor, you will see the patient, you will cure the patient, you will help the patient out, you will have compassion for that, and all those things there. Mother is there, mother is raising the kids and everything, but she will not take the pride that if I was not there, what will happen to these kids? She is simply acting as an instrumental cause, but still continue to do her duty. And so those are the things that we have to understand. Reflecting upon the reality, remembering, imbibing, and that is important. Knowledge-wise, simple knowledge is there, but repeatedly hitting again and again, that becomes second nature for us. So that's an approach Gurudev has taken, and that's an approach that we have taken right now because we are following Gurudev's lectures and everything. So sometimes when the repetition comes, it's not that why we are doing it is meant for giving the lasting impression to our mind. So the reader as well as speaker, they both get those impressions. Anyway, then the two words comes important in this stanza that we have to define. Adrelo projan vanche. Adrelo projan, when that word will come, means it is for honoring purpose. The certain facts they'll be coming on our discussion. That fact is meant for honoring. Means I honor that fact. And then janelo prayojan vanche means that fact is for knowing purpose. One is for honoring purpose, means I accept it. One is for knowing purpose, I know it's simply there. So those two words will be coming again and again and again in this stanza. Because there is the literal meaning of the stanza has created some kind of a confusion in initial reader's mind. And Gurudev Sri took the painstaking measure to make sure that we understand the real nitty-gritty. What is the inclination behind that? What's the intention behind that? It's not only the word, but it's an implied implication that we have to understand. So this word will be coming again and again, both the word. Adrelo prayojan vanche, it is for honoring purpose. Janelo prayojan vanche, it is for knowing purpose. Having established those facts, let's start going. One who has completely... One second. One who has completely achieved the pure nature of the eternal soul has now complete passionless state. Now, the soul is ignorant right now. Soul is in the wrong fate state. 1 second, I'll just unload this one. Dinesh, can I call you after about an hour or so? I'm in a conference call right now. Hello? So, one who has completely achieved so we are on the ignorant state, we are in the wrong fate state, we are in the first spiritual developmental state. Now, knowing the fact, gosh, what is happening in this world? One who has completely achieved the pure nature of the... No, I'm sorry. We are in the ignorant state. And then knowing the fact, gathering the information, what is right and what is wrong. That kind of information we gather. And now we imbibe on those information and it becomes second nature for us. And now I end up realizing myself. And then I keep on improving on this realization fact. So I start getting engrossed in that state again and again. And ultimately, I remain engrossed in this pure state forever. That means he has completely achieved the pure nature of the eternal soul. Now he is a complete passionless state. He has no rag, no dvesh. Those things are totally gone. Aryan Bhagwan at a 13 gun sthana has obtained omniscience knowledge, and before that he has also obtained complete passionless state. Means no inclination of attachment, no inclination of aversion. Both the things are not there. So he is right now in a pure state. Then and he is in the pure primary abstract comprehension state, means nirvikalpta. He is totally engrossed. Aryan Bhagwan at 13 Gunsthanak is totally engrossed in his nature. He has no rag and he has no dvesh, and that is called nirvikalpta, means primary abstract comprehensive state. What state are we in? We are in the deluded state. We are in a confused state. We believe that these things, this is the alien object and this is mine. As soon as I know this is an alien object, I put my ownership on it. While omniscient Lord knows the whole universe, but he does not have any ownership of any of the universal objects. So that's why he's a primary abstract comprehensive state. At one end of the spectrum, we are the ignorant soul. Other end of the spectrum, the complete pure nature of the soul that Aryan Bhagwan has been engrossed in it. So now, this Aryan Bhagwan has omniscience knowledge, Keval Gnan. Now he has achieved the completeness of pure point of view. Now, this pure point of view word also will come repeatedly in this stanza. What is a pure point of view? Remember, take the word pure out. So, point of view. Point of view means nai. When we talk vyavahar nai, when we talk nischay nai, nai means point of view. Means from one point of view, this is good. From other point of view, I don't need it. Third point of view, it may be dangerous for the small kid in the house. So those kind of point of view, from different point of view. Who am I? I'm Kirit. I'm the father of somebody, son of somebody, brother of somebody, husband of somebody. So different point of views are there in the same one reality over here. From one perspective, I'm the son. Other perspective, I'm the father. Third perspective, I'm the brother. Fourth perspective, I'm the husband. So different, but me remains the same. So pure point of view means this guy, the Aryan Bhagwan has complete purity. So now, pure point of view, that word also came in a previous stanza. Pure point of view means it is occurring in my mode, number one. Pure point of view always occurs in scriptural knowledge, Srutagnan. Always occurs in Srutagnan. Now, Srutagnan means the 5 types of knowledges are there. Matignan, perception knowledge, Srutagnan, the scriptural knowledge, Avadhignan, the clairvoyance knowledge, Manaparignan, telepathy knowledge, and Keval Gnan is the omniscience knowledge. So 5 knowledges, out of which we as a human being right now five sense sentient being, we have two knowledges, Matignan and Sutagnan. And in the Sutagnan, in that scriptural knowledge, there are divisions occurring, partial point of view are occurring and everything. So I'm in a partial point of view. And that partial point of view occurs in Sutagnan. And Sutagnan is there from first Gunsthanak all the way to 12th Gunsthanak. First spiritual development state all the way to 12th spiritual development state. Sutagnan is there. Sutagnan, scriptural knowledge. And in that one, you have partial point of view. Once the soul goes into the omniscience knowledge phase, means he's on 13th spiritual development state, then he has a omniscience knowledge, means total knowledge, complete knowledge, and there is no rag or dvesh. There is no increase of attachment or increase of aversion. So those things are there in Keval Gnan, means this Nai, partial point of view occurring in Sutagnan, is no more there in omniscience knowledge. So now this soul has achieved everything. Pure point of view means, pure point of view, now we take the word, pure point of view means it is aiming to the eternal soul substance. Pure point of view puts the aim on the eternal soul substance. And impure point of view means he puts his attention to the alien objects of the universe. So pure point of view's job is to make sure that the soul, the mode directs his attention to the eternal soul substance. Now, once you get engrossment in the eternal soul substance, now you got the omniscience knowledge, pure, perfect, everlasting knowledge. That means Sutagnan is not remaining. So Sutagnan disappears. So pure point of view also disappears. So for him, for the omniscience knowledge, omniscience person, omniscience knowledge of a person at 13th spiritual stage, 14th spiritual stage, and Siddha Bhagwan, they all are called omniscience Lord. For them, this pure point of view which was there during the aspirant state from first Gunsthanak all the way to 12th Gunsthanak, now it is no more required because I have now omniscience knowledge. I'm totally engrossed within myself and there is no passionless, but there is no passions remaining. There is no toxic emotions remaining. There is no rag and dvesh remaining. So for that omniscience Lord, this pure point of view is for knowing purpose. Jane lo prayojan vanche. He just simply knows. It was there. That's it. During his aspirant state, pure point of view was there, and that is remaining as a knowing purpose only. So here, first time the word knowing purpose only comes. Who? Omniscient Lord. What? Pure point of view. Pure point of view was important, extremely important in my armamentum to continue my spiritual quest, to progress on my spiritual quest. So pure point of view means constantly reminding me, hey, my benefit is available only by looking at the eternal pure eternal soul. So it keeps on reminding me in an aspirant state. Now that I kept on doing that, kept on doing it, and now I got engrossed in myself completely, eternal soul, then this pure point of view becomes knowing purpose only. Jane lo prayojan vanche. Now there's nothing left to achieve for pure point of view. Pure point of view was helping me to remain and to letting me help. It was helping me out to stay engrossed in my eternal soul. But now I achieved that engrossment. Now I am going to remain in that engrossed state forever and ever and ever in the future. So now the pure point of view has done its job. I'm traveling in a train going from Queens to Manhattan. Now I reach Manhattan. Before I'm reaching, each station is coming. I'm nearer to the Manhattan. Finally, I reach the Grand Central Station or Penn Station, whatever my objective was. Now that I'm there, this train is no more important to me. Train remains as a knowing purpose only. Train was important when I was sitting in it. Now I achieved my aim, so that train is left behind. So now there's nothing left to achieve for pure point of view. So that's why pure point of view remains as knowing purpose only. This soul in absolute omniscient state means Aryan Bhagwan and Siddha Bhagwan both are eternal blissful state. So there is so much the non-stop blissful state coming in each and every mode forever and ever and ever and ever. And that was my aim to start with. I wanted to have omniscience knowledge, and more than that, I wanted to have a blissful state. So omniscience knowledge and blissful state both are coexisting. Actually, omniscient state is the reason, and a blissful state is a fruits of that reason. The Karan Karya Vyavastha, it will come later on when we talk. Karan means the cause, and the Karya means the work. So the omniscient knowledge is doing the work, and the effect of that work is a blissful state. So omniscient knowledge and blissful state, they remain present forever. One cannot live without other. Other cannot live without one. So omniscience knowledge and blissful state, they're part of the two sides of a coin. Now, for aspirant soul, the pure point of view is honoring purpose. Remember, over here, what did we say? It was mainly for for him, the pure point of view was for knowing purpose. For Aryan and Siddha Bhagwan, pure point of view was for knowing purpose. Now here, for aspirant soul now. Who is the aspirant soul? Sadhak Jeev. Who is a Sadhak Jeev? The one who has just started experiencing that in an eternal soul substance. Means we are all in an ignorant state. Each and every samay, we have directed our attention to the alien objects of the universe. Whether I'm eating, sleeping, drinking water, walking, exercising, all the time, my attention is directed to the alien object. What is that alien object? This physical body. That's the closest relationship I have of the alien object is a physical body. What is happening in the physical body? In the physical body, I nourish that body. I keep on attention to the physical body for all the time. So what is happening? That for example, I'm hungry. Then I can't keep on talking for long. I need to go and eat. I'm thirsty. I can't keep on talking to you. I did go out and do food. Who is thirsty? Soul is never been thirsty. Soul is never been hungry. But association of the soul with the physical body and my deep impression that I am the body. I am the body. That kind of impression I have since time infinite in the past. Just talking about time infinite in the past means what? I mean, when we talk infinite, infinite, infinite many times, then the real meaning gets lost. We are in the form of human being right now. We have our five senses working, our mind is working. We don't have the Alzheimer problem and everything. So we have the capacity to digest all the scriptural principles and everything. So this is extreme, extreme, extreme important human life. We all have it. In the scripture, it says how difficult it is to get the human life. Forget about getting born in the giants and not getting born, but at least getting interest in Jain principles, not only getting interest in Jain principles, but to apply those principles in our life and everything. Those are most impossible things to happen. The example is given in the literature. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean on this earth. So one end of the Pacific Ocean, let's presume Japan, for example, and the other end is Los Angeles. So from that Japan, you throw one needle, and from the Los Angeles side, you throw a thread. It is possible for that needle to have the thread pass through huge ocean. Still, there's a chance that they may both meet and that thread will pass through the eye of the needle. That's very, very impossible thing. To get the human life, to have the five senses and mind, to have the interest in the spirituality and everything, those are even absolute rarity than this thing happening. So that kind of human life, I have it. Now, how many times I have obtained this human life? Infinite times in the past. Not only once, not only twice, not only 100 times, infinite times. Now you can imagine what is the time infinite means. So now, aspirant soul, what is it? For time infinite, I had the interest in my physical body because when I was in the lowest form of life, Nigod, and at that time also, I said, this is my body, this is my body, this is my body. My knowledge at that time was so minimal that teeny tiny less than that means I will become a matter, non-living matter. So that minimal knowledge, which was shining, minimal knowledge was shining at the time. That time also, I kept on believing that body is mine. At that life, I was getting born and death in 18 times in 1 second. And still at that time, with the teeny tiniest knowledge, I was saying body is mine. And since then, infinite times I was moving around and just going to transmigrate, recycle. Each time I just said body is mine, body is mine. So right now also, I have the deep impression in my mind that body is mine. I'm the body. I can do the function of body and everything. To break that one, and now realizing that body is separate and I'm separate, just for the knowing purpose, to start with understanding, and now imbibing on that, repeatedly reflecting upon it, meditating on that fact and everything, and finally the very, very important moment occurs, and now I realize my soul. I take my attention away from this physical body and put my attention to the eternal soul substance. My faith gets directed there. And that means I get samyak darshan, means I got the experiencing of my true nature of the self, which never, ever had happened in the past. So it's something unique thing has happened. So now I become an aspirant soul. I say, oh my God, is this a blissful state did I experience? And that experience lasts very, very minute time only. And right away, I come back to the deluded state. That's not called deluded state, it's called unstable state, in which I again start directing my attention to the physical body. But the closest bond I had it for time infinite is broken right now. Even though I come back and think about the physical body, but now I have the separation in my mind. That physical body is separate than me. I still nourish my body. I still work. I still help my physical body. If my body becomes sick, I get the medications, everything, get surgery done, all the things. But still, now in the back of my mind, now I know this is not my true nature. So that kind of state is called aspirant soul. Now this aspirant soul progresses further, and he has experienced the eternal soul for just fraction of second. Now he's trying his level best to go back to that state again and again and again. And by doing that one, this aspirant soul progresses on the spiritual ladder for increasing purity. And for that aspirant soul, pure point of view is for honoring purpose. What was the pure point of view doing? Pure point of view keeps on reminding him that, hey, living being, your job or your pure nature is an eternal soul substance. Even though the soul comes out from the experiencing phase and directing his attention to the alien object, but this pure point of view keeps on hitting on the back of the mind, telling him that, you know what, you are supposed to go back in, you're supposed to go back in, constantly reminding and helping it out. So for that aspirant soul, pure point of view is for honoring purpose, means adrelo projan vanche. Remember in the previous slide, the same honor pure point of view for the omniscient Lord, it's meant for knowledge purpose only. Janelo projan vanche. For me, for this aspirant soul, it is a adrelo projan vanche, means that a pure point of view is for honoring purpose. You honor that one, you respect that one, you make your life surrounding that nature, and that's why it is meant for honoring purpose. So those are the things gets clarified in our mind, that for the omniscient Lord, the same pure point of view becomes knowledge purpose only. Same pure point of view in an aspirant soul, it becomes honor. It is for the honoring purpose. Having said that, he now achieves whatever is to be achieved. He is achieving, and pure point of view is helping him. At omniscient state, pure point of view is not there. Remember, we said pure point of view is only present in the Srutagnan. Srutagnan means scriptural knowledge, and omniscience knowledge is a complete pure knowledge in which all these four knowledges are no more there. For example, the sun is shining, and then that lots of clouds are coming. The clouds are hiding the sun. Thick clouds of a winter, thick clouds of the northeast, for example. And the sun is totally hidden, for example. But still, the light of the sun will filter out through those clouds, and it will tell us, yes, it's a day. It's not night right now. And when all this, clouds, thick clouds that disappear, sun is shining. Now there is no obstruction to the sunlight and everything. So omniscient knowledge is a pure, perfect sunlight without any obstructing clouds and everything. Srutagnan is like that sun with the cloud obstructing its rays. So Srutagnan is gone now, because now all the clouds dissipated, and the pure sun with his knowledge is shining. And so, at omniscient state, pure point of view is not there because Sutagnan is not there. Sutagnan disappeared. So there is no scriptural knowledge, or we can say scriptural knowledge or sacred knowledge. They are the interchangeable word, means Srutagnan. So there is no Srutagnan left in the omniscient state. Only in the cloudy day, the sun rays were hidden, and that's why the Srutagnan was present at the time. The knowledge was indirect at the time. Sunlights were coming indirectly. But now clouds dissipated and the sun is shining and rays are coming directly towards us. And so there is no scriptural or sacred knowledge left in the omniscient state. So the pure point of view is not there for honoring purpose. Only in the aspirant soul, the honoring purpose was there. For aspirant soul, the pure point of view was present for the honoring purpose. But now everything is pure, knowledge is pure and everything, there is nothing more to achieve. And that's why pure point of view is not there for honoring purpose, and there is no need for pure point of view for taking refuge in the eternal soul. Shuddha nahi ashray karwa layak nathi rayo. Shuddha nahi means pure point of view doesn't need to be, there is no dependency of mind on the partial point of view of this pure point of view, because now the soul, the Aryan and Siddha, they have the omniscient knowledge. Aspirant soul is having enlightenment but has not achieved omniscient state yet. Remember, we are in the ignorant state. The aspirant soul started experiencing of the soul, and thereafter his progress starts, and progressively he keeps on increasing his spirituality all the way up to 12th spiritual development state. And that time he still has not obtained omniscient state. So for him, for that particular purpose, for that aspirant soul, there is partial purity and partial impurity present in its mode. Mode is for one samay only. It's originated, dissipated in one samay. And so, our mode right now, in the ignorant phase, our mode is totally clouded. It is impure, totally impure mode is there. Now, once the aspirant phase occurs, that means partial purity of this mode has occurred. Partial purity means there is partial impurity present. Partial purity and partial impurity present in this mode. And that's an aspirant state. Now, there is still presence of milder form of inclination of attachment. What is happening? Partial purity is purity. And now this aspirant soul works on his partial purity and keeps on increasing his partial purity. Remember, we have gone through that, in which samvar, nirjara and moksha, stoppage of karma, shading of karma, and totally devoid of karma. 3 phases. When we talk 7 elements, last 3 elements are samvar, nirjara, moksha. Samvar means partial purity generation. Nirjara means increase in the pure. So in this mode, the partial purity has just generated. Now that's called samvar. Nirjara means purity increases, and moksha means complete purity. 99 out of 100 people, 99 out of 100 Jains, if you ask, samvar means karmanu avu atakvu, means stoppage of karma. Nirjara means shading of karma, and moksha means devoid of karma. Karma, that we will be talking. But what happens to me? Karma are matter particle. I'm not really, I have nothing, no relationship with the matter particle. They are with me since time infinite. Karma remains karma, I remain as me. There is no intermingling of both the things. Soul doesn't become karma, karma doesn't become soul. Close association is there though. If you take in the flask water and oil and you try to do as much shaking it as much as you do, but ultimately the oil will remain separate, water will remain separate, no matter how much you do it. Same way, karma is a matter and soul is a living element, and they both have close association. But karma remains karma, soul remains soul. So, what happens in samvar? What happens in nijara? What happens in moksha? For me, purity gets generated, and at that time, proportionately, that much amount of karma stop coming. Primary action occurs within me in my mode. Nijra means my purity increasing, and over here the karma kept on dissipating from me. Karma do its their own job. I'm doing my own job. And moksha means complete purity. What did Srimadji say? Moksha kayo nija suddhata. My complete purity is called moksha, and when that happens, the karma over here completely dissipates from me. They never remain with me. So here, while the purity is starting, so this much amount of purity started, so in my mode, that much amount of impurity is also present. This presence of impurity within me in the aspirant state, presence of impurity within me in this aspirant phase of the soul, starting from 4th spiritual development state all the way to 12th spiritual development state, that soul has a partial purity and partial impurity present. And this partial impurity which is present in that soul's mode is called conventional point of view. So what is conventional point of view? Purity is absolute point of view, and associated rag and dvesh is called conventional point of view. Now it establishes, it reminds us our past experience, past formula. How do we call conventional point of view as conventional point of view? When it is associated with the absolute point of view. Means if there is a pure partial purity is there, then and then word partial impurity is given. In our case, when we are in the mithyatva, my mode is completely impure. There is no purity at all. So this conventional point of view, absolute point of view does not apply. Only when I first time experience my eternal soul substance, that is called beginning of purity. That means partial purity is generated. That means partial impurity is also present. And this partial impurity being present is known as conventional point of view. Because absolute point of view is partial purity. So whenever there is a partial purity, then and that partial impurity sentence is being applied. That means absolute point of view is there. That means conventional point of view is present. In the wrong faith state, complete impurity is there. There is no sign of any purity at all. So we cannot say there is absolute point of view and conventional point of view. In the aspirant phase, there is a partial purity is present, so partial impurity is labeled. Now, in the enlightened, in omniscient Lord, he says complete purity he has it. He has a complete purity. From top to bottom, that mode is completely pure. There is no space for impurity. And because there is no space for impurity, that means there is no division of partial purity, partial impurity. So there is no division of absolute point of view or conventional point of view. In the mithyatva, wrong faith, There is no division of absolute point of view, conventional point of view. In Siddha Bhagavan, Aryan Bhagavan, no need for division of partial impurity, partial purity, because there is complete purity. So in one extreme, complete impurity, one extreme, complete purity, means there is no need for conventional point of view, absolute point of view. Only in the aspirant phase, there is a partial purity, partial impurity present. And that partial impurity is called conventional point of view. He knows that now this aspirant soul, he knows the presence of incompleteness of purity. He knows that he has only partial purity and partial impurity is present. And he knows that he is passing through this partial impurity state, but each and every day he increases his personal effort, he increases purusharth, and as a result, he is getting devoid gradually of his partial impurity. Aspirant soul acknowledges this conventional point of view. Aspirant soul says, yes, I have a partial purity generated within me, but at the same time, I still have weakness within me. I still have instability within me. I don't have stability to stay completely in the absolute point of view or the purity phase of the mode. So he's aware of it, that he is a presence of the impurity. He is a presence of rag and dvesh. He is a presence of increase of attachment and aversion. He is aware of that fact. He is aware of this fact that this partial impurity is present, which is called conventional point of view. So he has, aspirant soul has, there is typo over here, aspirant, but okay. Aspirant soul has, he is aware of this conventional point of view. And this state, which state? Partial purity state is there in the aspirant soul. He is also aware of his partial impurity state, and that partial impurity state, he says, that's a conventional point of view. He says that that is for knowing purpose only, not for honoring purpose. Now it becomes lots of kind of abstract sentences over here. What happens? Once the soul has enters into the aspirant phase, let's take the monkhood. It is easier to understand. The Kun Acharya Dev is in the 6th and 7th spiritual state. So he has partial purity present, partial impurity present. He has a partial purity present, partial impurity present. And this partial impurity, he is aware of it. That means, conventional point of view, he is aware of it. That means, when he gets engrossed in his eternal soul substance, that is what he would like to achieve, that is what he wants it, that is what his important thing is there. And this partial impurity is knowing purpose, means he's from externally, he's a naked saint. He is absolutely observing 28 virtues of the monk. If we listen to Srimad Jiza Apurvasa, Nagna Bhava Munda Bhava Saha Asnanata Adanta Dhovana Adi Parama Prasidha Che Kesaroma Nakhake Ange Srungaranai Dravya Bhava Sanyama Maya Niragrantha Siddhajo Apurva Avasara Evo Kyare Avase. So, what is happening? He is a nudity is there. He has no hair on the head and everywhere. He has plucked out his hair and everything. Nagnabha Munava Saha Asnanta. He doesn't take shower. He doesn't take shower. He doesn't touch water that way. Nagnabha Munava Saha Asnanta. Adanta Dovan, he doesn't do the brushing of the teeth. Adi Kesa Roma Nakake Ange Sungar nahi. He doesn't do any kind of external externally honoring the body, in which he has to have a clothes on, he has to have all kind of things. So he doesn't have it. But those are called conventional point of view. So that state is only for knowing purpose. For Kuntanacharya Dev, on the 6th and 7th spiritual development state, to stay in the purity state is the most important. And this external clad for the monkhood, they are for knowing purpose for him. He keeps that one as a knowing purpose. He doesn't honor that one. He doesn't say, hey, you know what, look, I'm the saint. I'm the naked saint. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He just knows that that state is associated with his purity of the soul. Partial purity of the soul is the important thing for honoring purpose, and associated conventional point of view, associated 28 real primary virtues of the monk, he is observing, but he does not honor that one. He just says it is meant for knowing purpose only for him. So, aspirant soul, partial purity point of view is for honoring purpose, and partial impurity state is for knowing purpose, not for honoring purpose. Well, okay, I'm the householder. I have the right faith occurred to me. So now I'm just observing certain principles and virtues and all kind of thing. I have taken the vows and all those things, and I don't give importance to those things. They are the associated things. If you just if you put the grains into the ground, then the grains will come out. And when the grains are coming out, at the same time, also the dry grass is also growing along with the grains. I don't have, the farmer has no interest in the dry grass or maybe green grass. His important thing is how much grain is being generated, how much grain grew, and that is most important. That's his main aim. Similarly, when the soul is in the 5th spiritual state and he's observing 12 partial vows, he doesn't take pride in those things. See, I'm doing these things. I don't watch movie. I stay in the house. I don't sit in the car. I don't sit down in the car with the leather and everything. He doesn't give the importance to those things. They are part and parcel of his life. So what? You wake up, you go to work every day. So do you make big deal out of it? No, it's there every day. That's my job, to go to work. So you don't, but it is part of the life, but your important thing is me as a soul is important. So here, aspirant soul, partial purity is important for him, for honoring purpose for him, and partial impurity is only for knowing purpose for him. So knowing purpose and honoring purpose in an aspirant soul, that becomes very important for us to understand that way. Okay, let's go further. Therefore, it says that janelo te kale projan vanche means he knows this convention. Aspirant soul knows convention point of view, and that's why it's meant for knowing purpose. Janelo projan vanche. In 11th stanza, now Acharya Bhagwan and the Gurudev is taking us back to 11th stanza and tries to, the honest attempt is made for us to know how did we end up with the 12th stanza. We were in the 11th stanza. We knew absolute point of view. We knew convention point of view. Why do you throw this 12th stanza? Because in 11th stanza it describes about absolute point of view. It described those absolute point of view and conventional point of view, and we went through the exhaustive Swadhay on those two things. One takes refuge in absolute point of view and achieves enlightenment. What is absolute point of view? Means bringing my attention to the eternal soul substance. Bringing my attention to the eternal soul substance is called absolute point of view. And when I bring my attention to the eternal soul substance, since time infinite, my attention was focused to the alien objects of the universe, means to the body and things related to the body. Now I brought that attention, I took attention away from the alien object and brought it to the eternal soul substance. Remember, two things we have to, one thing we have to remember over here. There are lots of discourses will be given. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do anger, don't do ego, don't do anger, deceit, ego, pride, don't do those kind of things. Don't do rag and dvesh, don't do ignorance. Okay, I don't do those things, but what do I do then? I don't know that part. Don't. That's been said, but what do I have to do it? So we have to know both the sides. That's why Jain philosophy is a unique in which it is established on affirmative and negative predicament. Who am I? હું કોણ છું ક્યાંથી થયો છું સ્વરૂપ છે મારું ખરું કોના સંબંધે વળગણા રાખું કે પરિહરું. So primary thing, I have to know who am I. And that associated thing, what is not me. Those 10 friends, they are crossing the river and they came out on the other side of the river and they say, we came back and the river was very rough and everything. So we want to make sure everything is accounted for. So one guy started counting and he said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're missing one guy. So the guy says, no, you don't know how to count. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everybody started counting and it became 9 only. So they started crying that we lost somebody. We don't know whom did we lose, but we lost somebody. So when a learned person is passing by and says, why you are crying? Well, we crossed the river and now we are only 9, we lost one guy. So this learned person says, okay, sit down, let me count. And he says, you are 10. So I say, how come we are counting 9 only? Because you forgot yourself. You knew everything about everybody except that you forgot that you also exist. I'm not Ankit, I'm not Preeti, I'm not Vibhuti, I'm not Amit, I'm not Rish, I'm not this thing. But who am I? I have to know that part also. So, negative connotation, yes, it's important, certain phase of the life, but at the same time, who am I? Positive connotation has to be firmly established. And actually, if you firmly establish who you are, rest of the things automatically becomes less important. Whether you know it or you don't know, it becomes least important. So, taking refuge in absolute point of view, and he achieves enlightenment. With some darshan. Now, he's in the aspirant soul. Right faith, right knowledge, right conduct are present but are not complete here. Remember in the 7th stanza, if you remember, go back to the 7th stanza, it has said that me as a pure soul doesn't have right faith, doesn't have right knowledge, doesn't have right conduct type of divisions within me. You mean there is no right, in the aspirant soul, there is no right faith, right knowledge, right conduct? They are there, but they are indivisible from the soul. They are not separate. The division of the attribute also creates influence of attachment. That means it produces rag. And when there is a division of the attribute that we perceive, that means I cannot get I cannot get Samyak Darshan. So what is Samyak Darshan then? So all these things we are establishing ourselves to find it out. Who am I? What's my real nature? Why I'm existing over here? What is my relationship with the alien object? All those things, I have to know those things. So, in the aspirant soul, when he experiences eternal soul substance, that means he has right knowledge, right faith, right conduct in unity. He experiences them as a unity, not as a three separate elements. But this right knowledge, right conduct, and right faith in unity is present in the purity, but that purity is also associated with the impurity, so this purity is not complete yet. Some purity and some impurity phase are present. Both the phases are present right now for aspirant soul. To know this state is the motive for this aspirant soul. To know that there is impurity present along with this purity. There is some amount of impurity still present, and to know that state, that's a motive for this aspirant soul. He makes the constant discrimination between purity and impurity state within him. So this soul, let's say we will take ourselves. We are the ignorant soul for spiritual development state. And here is an aspirant soul who is in the fourth spiritual development state. First phase, first spiritual development stage, Mithyatva state. He does not know anything and he has a complete impurity present, and he thinks soul is me. I mean, body is me. I can do the function of body, and I enjoy the fruits of labor occurring in the body and everything. So ekatva, mamatva, kartutva, bhoktritva, four kind of things that I impose myself on the physical body. So I'm totally engrossed each and every moment with my alien object, means physical body. This aspirant soul, he has separated his purity from impurity, means he just has experienced the eternal soul substance, and then he says, okay, body and me are separate. That person right now, the person on the fourth spiritual development state, right now, he is eating the food and he is enjoying the food. He he's really engrossed in eating the food. This aspirant soul, and this mithyatva soul, his soul with total ignorance, he has done fasting. He's not eating, he's not drinking, not only for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever days. He is fasting. This guy is eating. Who has a more shading of the karma? Guy in the ignorant phase is fasting, and he's going to temple and he's praying and he's doing worshipping and he's doing all those things. The aspirant soul over here is having the experience of the soul, but he is right now eating and drinking and enjoying. Still, he has a lot more karma getting shaded off than this guy. Why? Why so discrepancy? Just because I experience my soul, that means I can do anything I like? And this guy, poor guy, he's sitting over here, not eating, not drinking, and how come he does not have karma shading, and this guy has tons and tons of karma shading at every moment? Because the guy in this first spiritual development state is a fine reason for karma bondage. Mithyatva, avirati, pramad, kashaya yog. Wrong faith, vowlessness, carelessness, toxic emotions, and yoga. Yoga means mind, for our purpose right now, we can say mind, speech, and action, of the mind, speech, and bodily action. So he has 5 reasons for karma bondage. Who? This guy in the mithyatva. Aspirant soul, he has entered 4th spiritual state and he has destroyed his wrong faith. What was the wrong faith? Body is mine, body is mine, body is mine. That attitude he destroyed. Now he has 4 reasons for karma bondage present. But this guy was so strong that 99% of the karma, roughly, 99% of the karma bondage occurring was because of mithyatva. Because that is gone, so he has very puny things present to acquire karma. This guy has 5 reasons to acquire karma. This guy has 4, and that's why he has a lot more shading of karma, and this guy is acquiring lots of karma that way. So, to know this, so he is aware, this aspirant soul is aware of it, that he is getting engrossed in the body, but that is not his nature. It is because of his weakness that he is joining there. This guy is joining the bodily action and he takes pride in that one. He doesn't take pride, this guy, aspirant soul. So, in 11th, so for to know this state is motive. For honoring purpose, only the eternal true nature of the soul. So what is happening? Eternal true nature of the soul is honoring purpose for aspirant soul. Aspirant soul has a experiencing of the soul, and that is for the honoring purpose. This associated thing, associated rag and dvesh, that is not my nature, and therefore knowing purpose. So these words, 2 words, for honoring purpose and knowing purpose for aspirant soul. And so that's what it says over here. Now we are coming to the next one. So in that stanza, there is a word Vavahara Desida. There's a word called Vavahara Desida. What does that mean? This word has created confusion to the ignorant soul. Vavahar Desida means what? Its literal meaning that if we take, it means conventional point of view is for knowing purpose only. It's really not literal meaning. It's an implied meaning. This Vavahar Desida word, Vavahar Desida means Upadesh. Upadesh means discourses. So discourses from convention point of view to be given. To whom? To the aspirant soul. For the aspirant soul, one need to give discourses of conventional point of view. That's what the literal meaning of this word. But implied meaning means this soul who has a partial purity, partial impurity, that means conventional point of view for knowing purpose only for him. So the confusion of so it does not mean that to show and give discourses of conventional point of view. Vavahar means conventional point of view. Desida means to give discourses. So literal meaning, it says to show and to give discourses of conventional point of view. But the implied meaning, the deep meaning, that's why one needs to have Sadguru. That's why one needs to have somebody wiser person in front of us who can analyze the fact the way they have been mentioned. The Kunkun Acharya Dev wrote that word Vavahar Desida and he walked out. Now, does it mean to give the discourses of conventional point of view? No. The conventional point of view is for knowing purpose. That's what the meaning Amrit Chandra Acharya took it out. Kunkun Acharya Dev wrote down this stanza 2000 years back. Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev wrote down the critics and information on this stanza 1000 years back. And then Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami came and he expanded all those the deep meaning hidden in those stanzas. That's why we are indebted to our revered gurus who are showing us the path, the real path. Or if we just take the literal meaning, it will be misguided. We will be taking this meaning. But implied meaning, we have to take it. And that's why, that is, for example, this implied meaning and literal meaning means in the third and fourth stanza when we went through, there was a word came Bandha Katha. Bandha Katha was a word, means literal meaning for that word was story of the bondage. Katha means story, Bandh means bondage. So story of the bondage, I'm going to give you Bandha Katha's story. But story of bondage does not create visamvad. Means story of bondage does not give deceiving thing. Bandha Katha is a language. The intended meaning is inclination of bondage means bhava. Bandha Katha means bondage. Bondage means bondage of the karma. Karma getting bondage to me, so we are doing the story of the karma. I'm going to tell you about the karma. That's a literal meaning. But the actual intended meaning is there's a karma bondage over here, and as a result of karma bondage, the soul goes into its own impulse of attachment and aversion state independently. This guy is doing his own job, this guy is doing his own job, they both appear to occurring at the same time. So it appears that this guy, karma, made me to have certain rag and dvesh. But this is independent, this is independent. So ultimately, Bandha Katha means not to talk about story of bondage. It means along with the karma bondage, the soul goes into the rag and dvesh state, and so I am going to talk to you about the rag and dvesh. So Bandha Katha doesn't have any relationship with the karma bondage at all. So similarly, what is happening here? Vavahara Desida word, the vachak means it means discourses, or vachak means the literal meaning. Literal meaning means it means discourses on conventional point of view. That's it. Simple. Literal meaning is giving discourses on conventional point of view. Now, its intended meaning means vachya is much different. What does it mean? The intended meaning means to know partial purity and partial impurity state. Just this aspirant soul has a partial purity and partial impurity, so he knows both the state. And that is the implied meaning of the word Vavahara Desida. Most of the people will make this meaning that okay, so aspirant soul, you have to give discourses on conventional point of view only. No, not that one. It means that he is aware of presence of partial purity, partial impurity. And this is the heart of 12th stanza. It is built up on Vavahara Desida word. So Vachak means a literal meaning is a discourses on conventional point of view. Desida means discourses. Vavahar means conventional point of view. So it means discourses on conventional point of view. But intended meaning means the soul is aware of his partial impurity and partial purity state. That's a real intended meaning. And that's what Gurudev Sri took this meaning out when he explained to us in great detail. So that means conventional point of view is to be accepted, and its presence is there, but it is not for honoring purpose. You don't deny the presence of rag and dvesh in this state. Rag and dvesh is present in the aspirant soul. There's no denial of that one. When we sing the stanza of Apurva Usar, Nagna Bhav, Munda Bhav, Sahasnanda, all those things are, nakedness is there, the hair plucking is there, not taking bath and everything. All those things are there, but he's not giving importance to those things. Important thing is to get engrossment in the soul. The farmer goes to the field and he is looking at all the grains. He just does not look at the green grass also growing along with that. Green grass is present. He does not deny the fact that it's present, but his main aim is how much am I going to make it this year? How much grains are getting cultivated? So that's what is very important. So motive for this state is for knowing purpose. This convention point of view is for knowing purpose. Knowing purpose. It doesn't have to be honored. And it does not honor, one does not honor this state, means adrelo projanvan nathi. Aspirant soul looks at the conventional point of view, conventional state he sees, but it is not to be honored. It actually is to be taken out. For example, I have an abscess on the hand. That abscess is part of my body. This example. So we don't want to dissect the example that anyway. So I have the abscess. Do I keep it or do I throw it away? Do I keep it or do I try to make sure that it gets destroyed? What do I do? I go to the doctor, I take antibiotic, it's not working. So I tell the doctor, take it out, cut it out, take it out, because it's an impure state. It's an impure state of the body. Even though it is present within my body, but see, it shows impurity. So I'm aware of it, that I have that abscess. It is hurting me. It's giving me fever. It's giving me vomiting. It's giving me dizzy spell and everything. All those things, I'm aware of it because of this abscess, severe abscess, needs to be taken out. So, jane lo prajanvanche. That abscess is meant for knowing purpose only. It doesn't have to be honored. It doesn't have to be saying, oh my God, look at that. Such a beautiful abscess occurred. How nice pink color is there. No, not that. We need to take it out. We need to throw it out. So, for aspirant soul also, that abscess of impurity, he's aware of that one, and his main job is to throw it away. He doesn't honor that. He just simply knows its presence. So those are the things that we have seen. So we will stop at this point. If there's any question, we can take it.
Kirit uncle?
Yeah.
I just wanted to add something. At the beginning of this,
yeah,
you had posted a comment by Hemant Bhai Gandhi.
Yeah.
And you probably already know this, but if you brought that up, the gist of that is taken straight from chapter 6, Moksha Marg Prakashak, where Pandit Toramalji says that the reason why you do Shubh Bhav, the reason why you do Tattva Charcha, and you do Tattva Smaran, and you do Swadhay, is because from that thought process, even for a Mithya Drashti, it causes, it suppresses kasais, it makes bad pops into not so bad pops, it makes punyas into better punyas, and that gives you a better chance at going forward in the Gunsthanak than anything else. And he makes that very, very clear, the same way that Hemant Bhai Gandhi is quoted. I'd be very curious to know if he got the inspiration for that quote from Pandit Toramal.
When you meet him, just ask that question to him, and he's very, he loves those kind of questions coming and everything. he enjoys that kind of thing, and he will sit down with you. He may not be able to explain to you in English, but then he has a tremendous amount of references built up in his mind, and he can tell how those words are coming. I just literally picked up those words that he repeatedly hammered, and it just became second nature for me. I mean, sentence-wise, that I said, "Oh my God, it's better that I thought that it's good that we share with each other that sentence."
Kirit, I have to say this: the last time I saw you, I think I was on chapter 3. I just started chapter 7, Moksha Prakashak.
My God, you
And
are progressing very fast.
I have never read anything like this in my entire life. Now, unfortunately, I don't know Sanskrit, I don't know Gujarati, and I don't know Hindi, so I can't read Gurudev Kanji Swami's Vivachans. I can't read Amrut Acharya's Atmya
Yeah.
I can't read any of this stuff, so I can't say that I've read a lot of things.
Mhm.
But whatever I have read, you know, Dorama was brilliant. Unbelievable.
And that's why they say Acharya Kalp. The word used for him is Acharya Kalp. Kalp means like Acharya. He was a householder, but his intellect was so sharp that even he was quoted as good as Acharya Bhagwan. Like Acharya means as good as Amritchandra Acharya Dev, as good as Kunkun Acharya Dev.
And I'll share one last thing before we let you go. I went to a Swadhyay by a Jain Svetamba Deravasi Murti Pujak person, and she was wonderful, really wonderful.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And she used, in her Swadhyay, she used the word Samyak Sammukta Mityadrashti. And so later on, I went to her and I said to her, I'm reading this Granth, and there's a chapter called Samyak Sanmukta Mityadrashti. And she smiled and she said to me, Acharya Kalp Pandit Toramalji, Moksha Prakashna.
And I know who is
I said, and I said, it's unbelievable. And she said to me that, Ankit, you will read that 100 times, and the 101st time, it will still be unbelievable.
Yeah, and I know who is that lady. Was that Falguni?
Yes. How did you know? How did you know? Very good.
Yeah, because first time I met her few years back in Phoenix, she came, and they said, hey, there is some Shvetamba ladies over here. She's gonna give discount. I said, okay, all right, I'll go. Half-heartedly I went, and then I said, wait a second, this girl means business, And
Yeah.
so later on I said, hey, what is happening? And she said, yes, I live in Bombay, and I go for this Swadhyay every day with this person called Hitesh Bhai Chovatia, and he is a Songat follower and everything. And so I love this thing, and I entirely do this. She has a PhD in Jainism,
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she's a doctor of Falguni Javeri, I think. Yeah, and she has a PhD in Jainism. She's very, very, and she's a Bal Brahmachari also,
Oh, wonderful. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's Bal Brahmachari. Yeah. She's very good, and actually I met her in Jaina also convention, but she was finishing and I was, we were coming in for Hemant Bhai Swadhyay, so we met.
And no, Kiranakal, she's the one, and she said it, Acharya Kalp. That's how she said it, Acharya Kalp Pandit Toramal.
Yep.
And let me tell you another thing that very much shocked me, especially in chapter 5 and chapter 6.
Mm-hmm.
Toramalji was very pro Muniraj Dharma.
Yep.
Very, very, very pro.
Yep.
So much so that it shocks me that Gurudev Kanji Swami and some others, especially Bharilji and so forth, stress him so much because you don't really hear much about Muniraj from them. But Toramal, oh my God, Toramalji put as much emphasis on Sadhu Sadhi Muniraj as a Shvetamba Murti Pujak Deravasi would. And I was so happy to read that because it reinforced everything that I was hoping to hear about Sadhu Sadhi Muniraj.
And I'm listening to the live story of Kanji Swami by Sumit Prakashji. He has given 28 hours of lectures. And then actually today only when I went for jogging, I was listening and he said, in each and every time Gurudev Sri is giving a lecture, he has mentioned about Muniraj. Not only that one, but in the afternoon there is always a bhakti for half an hour in the temple, and they will have a Muniraj bhakti. So there was a really love for Muniraj. Only the thing that they said, the true Muniraj, one who is external clad as well as internal purity state. That Muniraj they kept on saying. And so, does it mean that present day Muniraj, well, there may be some who has external clad as well as internal purity, but because Muniraj is the one who is giving us all the information. He has experienced, he has removed three kashai, three types of kashai he has removed, and only one feeble kashai is remaining. So that way, he is as good as Tirthankar Bhagwan. And Tirthankar Bhagwan in the Bharat Kshetra is not there. So next best is Muniraj. That's why we just have Panch Parameshri Acharya Upadhyay Sadhu as a Muniraj. So those are the things that, yeah, you are right, that, Muniraj is to be respected. Now, who am I to judge that you are Muni, you are a true monk and everything, or you are only external clad monk? I don't have that knowledge because I don't have experience of the soul. So rather than blaming everybody, you are wrong, you are wrong, you are wrong, that's not my state. And when I achieve that state, I can do it, but I don't have that state here. So, we have to respect those kind of things. You are right.
Kirit, it's a breath of fresh air.
Yes, you are right.
Moksha Prakashak. It really is a breath of fresh air.
Yep.
And let me tell you something, it cuts through everything.
Yes.
It doesn't miss anything.
Yeah, you are right. You are right.
He does not miss anything.
Nothing. And actually, if you think about it, Moksha Prakashak was actually prelude. It was preface. It is not the actual thing. He was giving all this thing, and then he said, now I'm going to go in detail about all the 9 elements and everything. And his life ended there. So it was absolutely very sad for all of us that we missed that whole thing he had lined up in his mind, but it never came out. But whatever, Samyak Nan, Deepika and everything that he has written other scripture, which tells how depth of knowledge he had. Very good. Well, I'm proud of it that at least you are going through those things, and that's really good. And the Gurudev has given lots of pravachans on it, but of course it's there in Gujarati. So maybe someday we will go through Moksha Prakashak also.
It's changed my life. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's really.
And you know what? It is so deep.
Yeah.
I have to read it very slowly, but it's unbelievable.
See, simple thing like first chapter when he says Ariyantnu Swarup, the nature of the omniscience. There are about 14 points he gives about that paragraph. Just go through that chapter again.
Okay.
Ariyantnu Swarup. There are about 13 to 14 points are there. That who is called Ariyant? Who is the true meaning? What's the true meaning of Arihant? And that paragraph has about close to 14 points are there for Arihant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. We'll meet next. Oh, I had to change this Zoom thing because Hemant Bhai's pravachan is also getting recorded on our regular Zoom. So I took the second Zoom program also. So that way at least we can continue. It will be only for 2 weeks. Once he leaves the US, then we'll go back to the original Zoom. Okay. Thanks, Jai Jana Beta. Okay. जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देता हूँ 9 times नमो का मंत्र Morning time. Jai Jinendra, Micha in the Kram. Thanks.